Hi there everyone, back with another video, and in this video we'll be learning all about arrays in JavaScript. So before diving deep into this concepts, let's have a very quick overview of this entire video and let us know what is your takeaway from this video. So the first thing is we will be learning about what is an array and why do we need arrays and what is the structure of it. So we'll be having some kind of a theory stuff, because guys, you need to have some kind of an understanding and some kind of an inception before diving into coding stuff and diving deep into all of those concepts and understand advanced things in concepts of arrays, right? So you need to have some kind of a theory behind practical ones, right? So this is the first thing. And secondly, we will be learning about creating an arrays in JavaScript. And again guys, there is two types of or two ways of creating an array in JavaScript. So we'll be diving deep into each one of the method to create an arrays in JavaScript. And thirdly, we'll be learning about what are the types of arrays do we have in JavaScript. So we'll be diving deep into each one of the types of arrays in JavaScript. And the next we will be learning about accessing array elements in JavaScript. Again guys, it is very easy. So accessing an array elements is so easy. And next thing is we'll be trying to change the array elements, right? So this is the thing that you need to understand whenever you are handling and playing around with the array. So we'll be trying to change the array elements. And next we'll be learning about adding elements to array. So once you have created some kind of an array, how to add elements to array after creating an array, right? So this is a kind of an important thing that you need to understand. And lastly guys, we will be learning about some of the commonly used array methods that we as a JavaScript developer must know them, right? So yes guys, this is all about the thing that you will be taking away from this video. It's all about step by step explanation of arrays in JavaScript. So with that being said, let's jump in. Before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and also hit that bell button so that you will be notified whenever I come up with a new video. So guys, let us understand very quickly about arrays. So I have a one single line to explain you guys about arrays, and this is this. So array is a sequenced collection of elements. That's all. So this is what we call it as an array. So in other words, we can also call an array as a group of variables. That's all. So now guys, having done with this, why do we need an array now? So the reason is because the first advantage is array helps us to handle multiple values under one name. So this is the first advantage of having an array in our logic. And the second advantage is array helps us to increase organization of data and readability. The reason is because all the elements are index based, and again guys, don't worry about the index based. We'll be learning about that indexes of an array in a moment. So since because each elements have an indices, the organization of data becomes easy and readability as well. So this is why we need an array in our logic. So having done with this, let us understand the structure of an array. So an array consists of three parts in its structure. So the first structure is the name of an array, the size of an array, and thirdly we have indices of an array. So let us assume that we have an array of 6 elements, and as you can see, this is a 6 elements array, and I call it as A. So this is a name of an array which contains for example the values as this. So A contains 6 elements and I call it as array of 6 elements, right? So and as we have studied that the indices of array is nothing but each elements have its index. So the first element will be having a 0 index and the second element will be having index as 1, and it goes until the last element of an array. So yes guys, this is all of the structure of an array. Then we have the name, which is A, and the size is 6, and the indices are based with 0 to n minus 1 indexes of an array. Yes guys, this is all about a very quick overview of structure of an array. and we have also learned about what is an array and why array. That's it. So with that being said, let's jump in and let's learn how to create an array in JavaScript. So guys, let us understand and learn about creating an array in JavaScript. So there are two methods of creating an array. So the first method is, I call it as direct method, which is most commonly used method to create an array in JavaScript, and it is also easy one. And the second method is with help of new keyword. So this is a long way to create method, and it is time consuming. And the second method with help of new keyword is a less commonly used method to create an array. So I recommend you to only use the first method of creating an array in JavaScript. I call it as direct method. So with that being said, let's jump in and let's create an array with the direct method. So as you can see guys, you need to create a variable, something like where a, and if I do something like this is a normal variable which we have already learned. So in order to convert this into an array, we need to use this brackets over here. So in this brackets we need to have an elements with comma separated, just like this, just like 1 comma 2 comma 3 and 4 and 5. It goes on guys. So this is it guys, this is a very simple array that we have in JavaScript. So now what I'm gonna do, I'll just have a console to the log, it should be an over here, and then let us print what will be the output. So now guys, as you can see here, we have got an array of 5 elements, and the elements are indexed base, right? So the 0 index has an element of 1, and 1 has 2, and similarly 4 has 5. Yes guys, this is the very simplest form of creating an array in JavaScript. So let us understand how to create the same array with the help of new keyword. So what I'm gonna do here is, I'll just remove this brackets, and with the help of new keyword, and by calling this array method, I will be creating an array just like this. That's it. So this is one and the same. So if I just save this and refresh, boom, we got the thing, right? So we got the same thing, an array created with help of a new keyword, and by calling this function called as array. And again guys, remember that it's a cap a. So yes guys, this is a simplest form of creating an array with the two methods. One is with the direct method, and the second one with this help of a new keyword. So I don't recommend this to you because it is time consuming, and we need to call this function, we need to use this, create an object, and it again guys, this is has a deep meaning behind this. So I just say that don't use this. So I'll just comment this off so that you will not be using that. And the second, of course, the first method which we have learned is with help of direct method, just like this. Yes guys, this is all about the arrays in JavaScript. I hope that it is very helpful for you, and with that being said, let us understand the types of arrays in JavaScript. So guys, let us quickly understand the types of array that we have in JavaScript. So basically guys, we have 5 types of arrays. So the first one is integer array, floating point array, boolean array, and fourthly we have string array, and finally we have a mixed array. So now as you can notice here, the types of arrays are basically depends on the data types that we use, right? So we have a data type of integer, floating point number, boolean, string, and that's all, right? So now let us jump in and let us declare an array of integers, right? So now as you can notice here guys, we have already have an array of integers, so we call it as integer array. So similarly, if I change something to this like 1.1 and 2.2 and 3.3, something like this, so now guys, this is a floating point array. We can also have this in our array. So this is what we call it as floating point array. And similarly, we can also have a boolean values like something like this, true, false, and true. You can guys again have n number of elements inside that array. So now this is an array of 3 elements, which is a boolean, purely boolean array. So again guys, similarly we can also have a string instead of a boolean, something like hi, and then hello, something like this guys. Again guys, as you can notice here, this is a string array. It is a purely string array. So this is what we call it as a string, because we have all the elements inside this array as a string. So now guys, the craziest part here is we can have a mixed array, something like I have a number which is an integer. I can also have a floating point number, and I can also have some kind of a boolean value which is true, and I can also have some string over here like hi, and this is what we call it as a mixed array. The reason is because we have all the data types in the JavaScript inside this array. Again guys, the craziest thing here is we can also have undefined over here, right? As you can notice here, undefined is also a data type in JavaScript, and here we go, undefined. And again guys, similarly we can also have a null as a value for an element of an array. As you can see here, a null is also an element of this array of 6 elements, which is array A. Yes guys, this is what we call it as mixed array. So yeah, array. And now guys, as you can notice here, this is the very advantage of having a mixed type array here, because we have almost all the data types in JavaScript. Yes guys, this is all about the types of arrays that we have in JavaScript, and see you in the next part. So guys, let us talk about accessing an array. So now we have created an array, and we have also learned about the types of array. So now how to access each element inside this array. So now guys, as you can see, these are index based elements. So if I just say a of 0, we call it as accessing element of array, which is a first element. As you can notice here, the first element is 1, right? So similarly, if we write as 1, it's the second element, which is 2.2. Guys, again, it's so simple. And notice guys, if you write something like 90, something like this, which is the index 90 is not present in this array, it will give you as undefined, right? So because there is no a of 90, so you need to understand that it is very important. With the help of indexes, you need to write the index which presents inside that array, right? So if I just say 5, it will be, I hope it will be null, right? So now it is, again guys, it might be very easy for you, but the thing here is, instead of null, what if I give an array within an array, just like this? So I will just say 1, and I will also have another element, just like, say, I will just say 2. So now guys, as you can notice here, the a of 5 is now an array. So this is what we call it as nested array. So now as you can refresh the browser, and as you can see here, a of 5 is an array, right? So now how to access an element inside this second array? So it is again easy. A of I, I'm sorry, yeah, it's a of 5 of 0. That's it. So now it will give you as 1. So it's so simple. If I just say 1, it will print 2, right? So this is how we will be accessing an array within an array. So now again guys, if I have some object within an array, I'll just say name is I'll just maximize this. So the name is, I'll just give my name, and I will also have some kind of an element called as age as 24. So now guys, how to access this? So first you need to, of course, you need to have array of a of I think, yeah, it's a 6, right? So now it is an object. So if I just refresh the browser, now as you can see here guys, it's an object. So how to access an elements inside this object? So it's a of 6 dot name. That's it. So this is how we will be accessing an object's properties inside an array. So as you can notice, we got the thing, right? So yes guys, this is all about the accessing an elements inside an array. So we have a normal data types, which we call it as predefined data types. or primitive data types, and we also have an array within an array and object within an array. So this is it, guys. This is all about accessing an elements inside array. So guys, let us understand and learn about changing array elements. So now, as you can notice here, we have all of these array elements. Just like I'll just print the array over here, and now guys, as you can notice here, we have all the values of an array. So now how to change the first element of that array? So again guys, it's so simple. It's just like a of 0. I will reassign it to, I will just say by. That's it. So now guys, as you can notice here, in the output we will be having by. That's it. So now guys, the thing here is, if you want to change some values of an element inside an array, you need to have that index. So if you have some wrong index, it will not be changed, right? As you can notice here, it will not change, and of course not just changing over here. If I zoom it up over here, and as you can notice here, you will be having an empty slots. As you can notice here, after yeah 6 you have 10. The reason is because you are changing, you're not just changing, you're adding, right? So you're adding an element to an element but not changing. So since you have given 10, it will occupies 10 elements inside an array and leaving all of the things as blank. So as you can notice here, the empty is 3. So if I just change it to 11, and we have empty slots of 4 empty slots, right? As you can notice here, we have 4 empty slots. So you need to be very super careful about changing elements inside an array. And again guys, it's all dependent on the indexes. So if you just mess up with some index, it will just have some kind of an empty elements, which is useless for logic, right? So you need to be very careful around with the index and the value. Yes guys, this is all about the changing array elements in JavaScript, and see you in the next part. So guys, let us understand and learn about how to add and delete an array elements after creating an array. So now guys, I'll just clear this off, and don't want to add some kind of this. So now guys, I'll just say, now the thing here is, we have an array of, I think, 7 elements. Yeah, so 7 elements in an array. So now how to add an extra element after creating an array? So it's easy guys. You need to do is a dot push. That's it. So now what I'm gonna do here is, I'll just pass some value for that. It can be string, it can be boolean, it can be number, it can be an array, it can be an object, it can be anything. I'll just say add. So this string add will be added as a last element of an array. So now as you can see in the output, an extra element will be added. So now the elements are 8 in number. So we have an array of 8 elements. So again guys, we can have n number of pushes. I'll just say a dot push, and I will have some integer for that. I'll just say 100. So as you can notice, it's simple, so simple, right? So now guys, we have learned about how to add an elements in an array using push, and similarly how to delete an elements over here. I will just say, if I do something like a dot pop, that's it. So what it gonna do now, I'll just say, after popping that, I will just log the result of an array a. So now guys, as you can notice here, after printing an array, which is an after adding this elements, we have got this array, and after deleting or popping, we have got this array of 8 elements. As you can notice here, the last element will be popped out of that array. So pop is nothing but popping the last element. So if I have some another pop, like just like this, it will again pop the last element of the current array. So now as you can notice, the last element will be popped out. Yes guys, this is all about the popping and pushing and elements from the array and to the array. Yes guys, this is all about adding and deleting an elements of an array. So now guys, let us talk about commonly used array methods. So I will be just talking about, first will be about length, and secondly about the sort method. So now guys, these are the two methods that are most commonly used methods in JavaScript. So if I have some array, something like this, I'll just console it to the log, and I'll just check out the original array, which is array of integer, and which is array of 5. So now if I do something like a dot length, what will be the output? I'm sorry for that. Yeah, the length. So as you can see here, it gives 5. So if I have add some elements just like this, it will give us the current length of that array, which is 6, right? So this is the first commonly used method in JavaScript, which is a length. So now similarly, if I have something like just say, first I will just do something like uh, this, like 30 and 40 and 20 and 10. So now guys, I have just randomly did some changes over here. If I just use sort, what will be the output of this? It will sort the array of integers and print it out. As you can notice here, it has been sorted, right? So it is ascending order. It is an ascending order sort. So similarly, if I have some, instead of numbers, if I have some integers, let me say a string, it will now sort with a lexicographical order. I will just say something like just say change it to C and over here B, right? So now guys, what will the output? The output will be according to the alphabetical order. Yes guys, this is all about the sort method and the length method that are most commonly used in JavaScript. Again guys, you can Google it out, and there are a lot of methods in JavaScript, and you will be getting to know that. And again, it is all self-explanatory. And yes guys, this is all about the most commonly used methods in JavaScript. And again guys, this is all about the entire of array in JavaScript. We have also learned about what is array and creating an array, types of array, accessing and deleting and adding, modifying, changing, and lastly we have covered about most commonly used array method. Yes guys, this is all about the arrays in JavaScript, and see you in the next video. So please make sure that if you're new to this channel, make sure that you are subscribe and also hit that bell button, and please like, share, and yes, this is all about it, and see you in the next video.